Hello again, 1/400 scale modelers. Today we are doing the first of a bunch of military vehicles. There's going to be several. We're going to do 24 today. There's going to be a mix of World War I, II, and modern vehicles. So this first one is from World War I. This is a German tank called the A7V. Looks like a living room with a turret on the front. But, it's from a long time ago. So that's pretty much it. Okay, let's move on here. This is my reference. It's a classic Range Rover on a US penny. Alright, so this next one I think is from England. It's an AEC Dorchester. So, and I guess this AEC Dorchester ACV is what my notes are saying. I kind of have a feeling it's like a bus chassis. I feel like AEC made buses, and they just pretty much armored the thing up. Alright, but please leave a comment if you know better, because I'm sure you do. Alright, this next one is an Alvis Saracen. If I recall, I think Alvis may have been a British company as well. So this one has a little turret on it. This would be probably a World War II vehicle. Okay. I think that's got a rotation in. This next one is a modern military vehicle made by Arcus. It's called a Bastion 4x4. So I'm not sure what countries actually possess this vehicle, but there's a little armored turret up front for probably a 50 cal, I imagine. It has a troop transporter, it looks like, by the side windows as well. Alright. This next one is a BAE Cayman MTV MRAP 6x6. So I think BAE, maybe it's a European conglomerate or something, I'm not sure. But MRAP, I think, means multi-role armored personnel. But correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just kind of guessing there. But I think it's just an armored troop transport, what this guy is. Again, you have 6 windows in the back there, 3 on each side, so I believe this probably can carry at least 6 people in the back. Alright, this next one is a BAE RG35 MIV Denel. So it seems like a lot of these European companies or military companies, they have different partnerships. I think BAE is one company. Maybe it's British Aerospace E, I don't know what that would be. And then Denel might be a different company. It's kind of like, maybe they're like licensing to each other or something. Kind of like, or it's kind of like how Toyota has the Lexus brand. I really don't know enough about military vehicles, so hopefully someone with some expertise can leave a comment and teach all of us. Anyway, so that's had enough time to spin. Sorry, I can't even see the models I'm picking up anymore. These things are so small. I'm trying to put them back down in the same order so you can look at all of them at the end of this video. This one is called a BDX 4x4. And I have a suspicion this might be a World War II vehicle, but correct me if I'm wrong. And I think this is from Belgium, actually. Alright. And then this next one here is called a BMC Kirby MRAP from 2009. So look at all the side windows on this. Maybe this thing can hold like 10 people or something. But there seems to be a turret on the top. Again, probably for like a 50 cal or something. Alrighty. Move on. So we're about a third of the way through. That was the first 8. This one is called a Bob Semple Tank from World War II. I think this is an early, proposal by a guy named Bob Semple, for an armored tank of some sort. But you can just see how short it is. I have a suspicion it's built on a farm tractor, just because of its proportions. But also, I'm going to guess it was really slow, and that's why this was never really a famous World War II tank. It probably never got accepted by the U.S. government. But it's nice to see people try, Here's a Cold War vehicle. It's a BTR-60PA from 1963. So this would be a Russian APC, I'm imagining. APC, I think, is Armored Personnel Carrier. So we got 4 axles, not much of a, by way of guns or anything. I don't think there are any guns on this. It's just an Armored Personnel Carrier. I do think there are variations of this, though, with turrets on the roof and stuff like that, but I did not model that. Okay. This next one is called a Buffalo Unicorn MPAV. Multi-purpose armored vehicle, if I had to guess what that means. And I think this is known to be throughout like South Africa. So Buffalo might be a South African company, I'm not sure. But I guess troops sit in the top of the back there. But there's no roof, so that seems pretty dangerous. Oh well. This next one is called a Caspier Mark II 4x4 DVS Austria Mecum Denel. Again, so that Denel word's come up again, so I think that might be a company, but I also think Caspier might be the company. Or maybe the model is Caspier. There's just so many different names associated to vehicles. I don't have the time to research them. So I'm sure this is a modern armored vehicle, just based on its appearance. You know, the bottom is like V'd out, so if it goes over a mine, the explosion gets deflected. They weren't thinking about that back in World War II, so. Alright. So this next one is actually from Thailand, of all places. It's called the Chiseri First Win 4x4 MRAP. So this is a modern vehicle, and I'm sure obviously it's used by the Thai Army. I'm not sure if any other countries have purchased it, but that's what this guy is. So the next one, we're going to go back in time again to World War I. This is a French tank called the Char Schneider CA1, or I believe it's a French tank. It's interesting, it has like this bar on the front to try to cut through barbed wire, to go through the trenches of over the trenches of World War I in those fields. They just had a bunch of barbed wire, so that's what I'm guessing that bar on the front is for. Okay, this next one is like an armored vehicle, but from the U.S. called a Commando Scout, and it's by Cadillac Gauge. So Cadillac has a partnership with Gauge, I guess, to make this thing. I'm not sure if this is used by militaries, but I believe it's used by like SWAT teams. It's meant to like drive through house doors and stuff and, break down scenarios for the SWAT teams. That's how I know of it. Alrighty. Ending up the second wave. This last one is called a Condor APC by Dyson. So I guess Dyson is a military contract company of some sort. And yeah, it's an APC. There's no guns or anything on this guy. But I think this is probably a modern vehicle as well, just based on its appearance. Might also be aquatic. Might be able to ford waterways. Alright. So, bring up the third wave. We have something called a DAF YP-408 APC. I have no idea what country the DAF is from, or DAF, but it's a cool looking vehicle, with the 4 axles, and it's so low slung. I mean, it's not much taller than that Range Rover, right? No guns or anything, but it looks like it could drive through a house very easily. Alright. Got a small one here. This is a modern vehicle, I think, again. Arcus Dagger PVP 4x4 LAV. So I think LAV means light armored vehicle. So a whole bunch of other names came up with this. Besides Arcus, there's Panhard, which is another company that makes armored vehicles. ACMAT, ACMAT, and then the last one would be Renault, the car company. So I think there's 4 different companies maybe making this vehicle. Here's a big one coming up here. It's called a Dana 152 SPGH. So self-powered grenade howitzer, if I had to guess. But I mean, this is a massive vehicle. Look at that. I also made this one so the turret can spin. Hold on. And also the gun can go up and down. That one took a long, excuse me, a long time to model because, you know, separate parts and all that stuff. Alright, so move that aside. Back to a normal sized truck, although still bigger than a regular vehicle we can buy. This is called a Dingo II, long wheelbase ATF KMW MRAP 4x4 GE. That's my notes. So I think maybe KMW or ATF, those might be companies, and GE is General Electric. So I guess many companies might be making parts of this or something. Again, I don't know, sorry. We got 4 more to go. Here's a cool one. It's from Israel, I believe. It's called an A10 AFV 8x8. So it's just an armored fighting vehicle, but I like the look of it. You know, besides being 4 axles, it's got the headlights in those tiny little slots there on the front, hidden away. So it's very modern styling. And you know, the bottom is angled like that because I think it's meant to go into the water and or deflect mine explosions. That's a big vehicle though. I mean, look how huge it is. It would drive over a Range Rover easily. Alright, this next one is called an Engesa Arutu EE-11. I don't know where Engesa is from. Maybe it's Spain? Yeah, leave a comment, someone please. Anyways, this mostly looks like mostly an APC, but there is a small turret on the top, so I'm sure there's like a machine gun up there and it can defend itself. Okay, 2 more to go. This one is called a FAD 240 APC. I forget where FAD is from. I feel like it's a Middle Eastern company, but correct me if I'm wrong. I like the funky look of this. It reminds me of like a Volkswagen bus or like maybe like a, well, that's what it reminds me of. The cabin is literally forward of the front axle. So that must be really strange to drive, you know, being sitting in front of a front axle like a bus. Alright, the very last one. We got a big one here from World War II called the FMF1 Tank. I kind of feel like it's a French tank, but could be wrong again. So this guy again, I have it so the turrets can spin, so let me do that a little bit. Yeah, it's a big lumbering tank. I'm sure it wasn't very successful. This must have been from the early part of World War II. Maybe it could have been a remnant of like development from World War I, because the successful World War II tanks didn't look like this. Okay, let's pause and I'll rearrange these. So there we have wave 1 of some of the military vehicles I've put together. There's going to be several more, maybe like 3 more videos, maybe 4, I don't know. I'll mix them in with the other non-military videos, so it's not just one block of military. I know you don't want to be a warmonger. I don't consider myself a warmonger, but I do like the appearance and different design, you know, that goes into war vehicles. They have a real need, you know, to protect people inside of it, and so that drives design. But also sadly, they have to be able to kill other people, so that drives design as well. Okay, well, thank you for watching today. I'll see you in the next Military 1400 show.